This video is going to be absolutely epic. It's going to be a classic. My name is Joseph Darling, and this is the Men of High Value channel. We are discussing how you can make sure that you guarantee that your future lineage, including yourself, will never ever experience poverty again. Buckle up, let's get started. First of all, you need to make a decision that you will be the first one in your lineage that will ever get rich. Okay, maybe it's happened in the past, maybe you're a descendant of King Solomon or something, who knows, right? But you need to make a decision that you will be the first one that you know of who's ever been rich in your lineage, in your family. And people will look back and they will always talk about you as the rich uncle, the rich brother, the rich great-great-grandfather. You're the one, okay? It's a decision. No one has had the same opportunity as you, other than your brothers and sisters, whatever, okay? For the first time in history, they never had these types of opportunities as we've got today with the internet, globalization, and everything at our fingertips for us to actually make money. Make use of that opportunity, please, okay? Your future lineage depends on it. Now that you've made that decision, we go now to number 2. It all starts with you, man. It all starts with you and your skill sets and your desire to give instead of take. Let me explain the aspect of giving and taking when it comes to actually producing wealth. When you're a giver, that means that you're grateful for the things that you've got and you are resourceful with the things that you've got in order for you to create abundance out of scarcity. When you are entitled, which means that you want to have something for nothing and you want other people to produce for you without you producing anything for them in return, by the way, that's feminine, while the other one is masculine, when you're, for men, so when you're entitled, then now you are actually creating scarcity out of abundance, which means that you need more from the source where it came from, because you are not a source in and of itself, you're yourself, okay? So this needs to, you know which one you need to choose in order for you to be the first one in your lineage to ever become rich, right? If you want to become a millionaire, you have to become a giver, and become resourceful and be grateful for the things that you've got and create abundance out of the scarcity that you've had. You start with your skills. Your current skill sets right now are actually able to produce more than you consume. This is a principle as well. Always produce more than you consume. I'm going to repeat it because it is crucial. You need to get it inside your brain. You need to always produce more than you consume. And what does that mean? You need to provide more service to others than what you are expecting other people to serve you. So this is income and expenses, okay? Sometimes people actually have an expense without being able to pay for it. Like, that's basically taking on debt, okay? And if it's not cash producing debt, it's bad debt because you're just spending it and there's nothing coming in return except for a temporary experience, which is a problem, right? So as an income, that is your current skill sets. You're making money. Let's hope that you're doing the 80-hour work week with 3 jobs as an example. If you don't have a business yet, that's what you're going to get. And then now you need to make sure that you spend less than what you got in. Because that means that you're producing more than you consume. Fantastic. Okay, we're already in a very good place so we can get to that point. Now, we have to pay yourself first. You have to learn this principle and learn it early. Pay yourself first. And what does that mean? It means that you put aside a percentage of your income immediately once it hits your bank account. You put it aside somewhere where you either don't see it or you immediately invest it into something that will produce more cash. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. It's so crucial you understand this principle. You need to apply it from today. Okay? The moment your income hits your bank account, you need to take a percentage of that income every single month. It needs to have the same percentage and then increase that percentage over time. What do you do with that money? You put that money aside where you either do not see it, okay? And I would recommend that where you do not see it might be Bitcoin, gold, or silver. It's very great investments right now, okay? And once you've You either put it where you don't see it, or you invest it immediately into more cash producing assets. Okay? What do you start with? Well, if you're extremely poor, like extremely, and you're already a lot of expenses are going out rather than income, you're in a very difficult circumstance. There's no point in history or time where you should do less than 1%. Just to start the habit that as soon as income comes in, you put 1% somewhere else where no one touches it, and you know that it's going to remain there or be invested in yourself, in cash producing assets. We're going to get to that. If you can do, and 90% of the population, if not 95% of the population can do this, do 10%. Just live on less. Do 10% and use that money again. Set it aside, gold, silver, Bitcoin, or invest it in cash producing assets. People could say that, gold, silver, Bitcoin is cash producing assets from the return on investment that's going to come on those very, very soon. But for now, they're not cash producing assets. They're just a store of wealth. This is where you put your money when you're not investing it. Okay? It's an investment, but you get what I'm saying. 10%. Can you take that to 25%? Can you take it to 50? Can you take it to 75? Because once you actually take it to 75, that's the wealthy people who do that. You want to become part of the wealthy. You want to make sure that your future lineage, they never experience poverty again. 75% is what you need to get to. I know Nomad Capitalist does 95 to 96%. Andrew Henderson, he's got a video on that where he only spends 4% of his income. It's insane, all right? But now that you understand that principle, what does this mean? What do you do with the 75%? Let's give you an example. So you start with your current skills right now. Your current skills suck, and they give you a specific income, and it gives you the sucky lifestyle you currently got, right? Okay, what's the next step? Well, over time, you're going to continuously invest in cash-producing assets. What's your number one cash-producing asset? What's your number one cash-producing asset? Well, it's a real estate, it's stocks. No, okay? Your number one cash-producing asset will and always will be you, yourself. You need to take a risk on yourself. What does that mean? It means that you invest in yourself. What does that even mean, Joseph? Okay, well, what is you? Let's go deep on this one. You is your brain. That's it. Your brain controls every limb, every thought, every emotion, everything about you, right? So you got to invest in your brain, your mind, your mindset. Okay. What about other cash-producing assets? They're not important right now unless you're making $1 million a year. You need to understand how to make $1 million a year. Until you get to that point, there is nothing else to invest in. Okay? Take a risk on you. So what is you? Well, which skills do you need to learn? You need to understand how to make more money. So that means you need to develop skills that produce more money. Does that mean that you should get a college education? Hell no. Okay? But you should get an education. Just not a formal one. You should educate yourself through books, through watching videos, okay, video courses, or whatever programs that you need to go through in order for you to learn the niche that you're in. Most importantly, the most powerful thing to invest in, which is awesome because I'm biased and I'm part of that group, is coaches, mentors, people who have gone before you and know what they're talking about in the specific niche or problem that they solve. If you can tap into mentors who have 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years more experience than you, and they have what you want, invest in them, okay? Because that is investing in you, and it's a cash-producing asset, your brain. So, if you make $10,000 a month, what should you invest in? Well, spend $2,500 for rent, food, clothing, whatever, but what I'd recommend is for you to spend $7,500 on your mind, your brain. Why? This is the fastest way to get to riches, by investing in you and your skills and your mindset. What's going to happen as a result? You're going to make more money, not less. right? Now, obviously, you have to be wise in who you invest in. And you have to research that properly and take the time to research it, because if you invest a lot of money into something, it needs to give a certain return, right? But you will get better and better at investigating and researching who's actually legit and who can actually take you to the land of your dreams, and go through the reviews and understand what people have done and what they've created as a result of the people that they've invested in for their own skill sets and mindsets. Do you get what I'm saying? Until Alex Hormozy says this, people don't understand that in order for them to make $1 million, the skill sets that are needed to do that, they cost $50,000. In order for you to make $1 million, you'll probably have to spend about $50,000 on the skill sets. So now the question is, are you going to spend that, are you going to purchase those skills with your money that you've made to speed up the process? Or are you going to spend time, because time is money, trying to research and fail on your own and do the same mistakes that your mentors did in the past, but you refuse to learn from their mistakes and rather just want to make your own mistakes? I'm helping you understand how you can make sure that your lineage never ever experiences poverty again. And the best way is for you to develop the skills yourself so that they don't need to get the skills elsewhere. You've got the skills at home. You're in-home expert. The dad, the father of the home, he knows how to get rich because he's got all of the skills that are required for him to do that. The kids are going to learn from that dope father. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay? After you've invested massively in yourself, you come to a point where there's a limit and cap to your time spent, to your time usage, and that's the time when you need to invest in employees. You need to now invest in other people's skill sets. And to be honest, that's the most important skill sets, is the ability to hire other people to do work for you. That's the most important skill set there is. The capitalist mindset, the business aspect of hiring other people that are better than you in solving other people's problems. So if you do that, and you teach that to your kids, oh my gosh, we're 50% of the way, right? This is what you need to do. Keep going until you actually fulfill all the things that I've mentioned in this video so far. Okay, let's say you now managed to get to $1 million. You invested in other people's skill sets, which is in your own business. I highly recommend you simply own your own business and reinvest everything into that, and just keep some safe on the side as well, right? In Bitcoin, gold, and silver, right? But everything else should go inside your business to multiply what you're creating. Your purpose, your Amazon, right? Stay out of the stock market. Like, don't go invest in other people's businesses. You've got no control over their success. You've got full control over your own success. Okay, so once you've done that, once you've actually created that wealth, your next aspect is to get your 3-in-love family. Okay, if you're understanding what the Men of High Value movement is all about, we believe in 3 women belonging to 1 man, okay, and him belonging to them, and living under the same roof harmoniously, and everyone having a wonderful time. And we've got the principles on the Women of High Value channel. Make sure you subscribe here, and also subscribe to the Women of High Value channel, link below in the description, to understand how that works. However, once you get women, once you get children, this is what happens for you to actually keep this, the wealth, and never have to experience poverty. They never have to do that ever again in your lineage. What do? Well, now you're rich. That's great. Tons of people have done this in the past, and then the next generation completely squanders it within 100 years, right? You take all this time to build it up, and then because you were never around, this is what happened with a lot of other people. Because they were never around, now their kids feel emotionally unfulfilled, and the only thing that fulfills them is temporary immediate gratification, which means that they take that money that they receive and they just spend it all away. And what did they do? They were takers. They were entitled, and they created scarcity out of the abundance that they had. This is a problem. How do we prevent this? How can you be a better father for you to actually make sure that this doesn't happen? that this actually can continue in generations, so you can increase in power continuously, that of you and your lineage. The way that you do it is you make sure that your kids are emotionally fulfilled, which means that you actually do invest time and attention in them sometimes, not all the time. Okay, people get this wrong. The more time you spend with them, the less worth that time becomes. Okay, so you need to spend a little bit of time with them. I recommend a few hours a day. That's it. A few could be 2, 3, maximum 4 hours a day should be spent with your kids in their early years. As the boys grow older, you can spend a whole lot more time with them when they're 13, 14, 15 and above, okay? Then they start working with you. Why would you put them in school, okay? And now they see how you're building your businesses, okay? So now that we understand how that happens, what you're going to do is to make sure that you have fantastic relationships with each and every one of them, okay? Learn how to tell stories and tell bedtime stories for them when they're kids. They'll remember those stories forever, and they'll treasure those times that they had with you, okay? Understand how that works. It's worth it because they'll love you for it. Okay, so once you do that, you got great relationships with them. You got great relationships with their mothers. And if you do that, they'll continuously edify you all day long when you're gone. Okay, so you've got that in place. What's next? Well, you've got your money. What do you do with your money? Well, throughout their youth, you're going to give them great experiences. You're going to have fun with them. You're going to help, support and build their talents and hobbies, etc., so that they got some skills. You're going to encourage them to never give up and keep trying, etc. But you're not going to expect massive discipline from them in the early years of their lives, okay? The more you do that, the more they really don't want to be disciplined the older they get. And they'll rebel against you because you forced them to do stuff that they didn't want to do in their childhood. The less you force them in their childhood to do stuff they don't want to do, the more you can actually lead them in their teenage years and in their adult years, because you never force them. Because that's just not what you do. You lead, you guide, you incentivize, but you don't ever force them, okay? If you can avoid it. Obviously, safety reasons, precautions, okay? Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But having said that, make sure that if you have a fantastic relationship with them, that they experience some aspects of poverty by you simply taking away some things during their teenage years as they begin to grow older to see what the world is like. Also show them examples of poverty. Travel to places where there is poverty so that they can see what they actually had as children and as teenagers. Wow, what an amazing lifestyle I have. Thank you so much for giving me this. I can't believe that other people have these conditions. Exactly. Okay. And then you begin to prepare them, okay, in their late teenage years of saying, hey, at some certain point, I'm going to pull the rug on all of the fancy experiences that you've had in your youth. It's time for you to actually learn this game yourself. And you've taught them everything you know. You give them the massive self-worth, self-belief, and the skill sets, and the understanding of how money works, how the world works, and people skills. And that's really the only thing they need in order for them to become massively rich themselves. And then you say, but if you do actually become rich and get to the level that I'm at, I'm going to give you the rest of the money that we've got. Okay? Boom. They duplicate this in the next generation, your lineage will never have to experience poverty ever again. Thank me later. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.